Hey girls, Maria Menounos here, author of the Every Girl's Guide to Life. Want to know my best tips and secrets for organization, travel, weight loss, beauty, fashion, and everything else in between? Go to bing.com/Maria and pick up my new book, The Every Girl's Guide to Life.
Very good, Dean. Johnson.
AfterBuzz TV. 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 AfterBuzz TV.
You get to see another episode where conflict and struggle happens, and
And we just had some struggle hearing all of that, by the way.
hearing all of what, by the way?
So I just want. Well, this is Phil. John, introduce everyone.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm John Comerford. We have joining us in the studio another man of a certain age, Steve Bottomley.
Hello.
And a man of a younger age, Mr. Phil
Svitek. Yes, and for those of you who heard the intro, we just kind of wanted to play some fun stuff for you. So if you're listening, we want to kind of think you had bad hearing.
Yes, just so you could consider yourself a man of a certain age and your hearing's going, just in case you were wondering. So this episode, we saw another case where we have Terry getting into a little bit of difficulty. We'll be talking about his struggles with his age and his birthday and how he deals with that and what kind of effect that has over at Owen in the dealership and dealing with the aftermath of Terry's irresponsibility. And then we get to see Joe's son dealing with his issues and coming out on a rock band and his big coming out party, so to speak, and how that informs Joe and how Joe gets to follow his dreams or try to follow his dreams and continue to struggle with his gambling addiction. So that's what we'll be discussing this evening.
And in our special segment, we'll discuss how many people. This is our first show, by the way. I wasn't supposed to be on it. We were supposed to have one other man of a certain age, AJ Jovelette, who does our Celebrity Apprentice, for those of you who are fans, and Stuart Lill, who's my age, really wants to be like 80 years old.
Well, he kind of we would call him a little bit more mature than his age, wouldn't we?
Yes,
Seems
we
far more
would. So
responsible.
they'll be joining us
in future episodes.
Yes,
So,
but in our special segment, we'll discuss whether or not the show will be successful if the men of certain age even know what a podcast is.
Well, they have to explain that to him. Podcast. They'll think it has something to do with fishing.
You know, after a
podcasting.
certain age, man, technology just goes way too fast.
It's a what?
And you're
It's a
still
what?
trying to figure out your DVD player,
Yeah.
and then something else comes up. And you're, oh, no, stop.
So yes, but I think for those of the men that do find this podcast out there, I think they'll find it very enjoyable.
Yes, I think they're finding the show enjoyable in terms of the Ray Romano, Mike Royce show. I'm sure they're finding that desirable and enjoyable. I don't know if they'll find this so much so, but we'll find that out.
Well, I just want to preface you guys. You guys are amazing writers and script doctors, and so that's kind of the point, the viewpoint we'll be taking into this world, especially, and as well as a certain age they have.
Oh,
Well, I
great.
can
Way to put
absolutely-
us on the line.
No, I can absolutely relate to a lot of the issues they bring up in that show at men of a certain age.
Yeah.
With two teenagers and a long-term marriage and all of the stuff that they present. There were many times where I kind of nodded and went, yep,
Yeah.
and we'll
So
touch on those.
They hit it right, did they?
Yeah, there was a lot of good beats in there where
Okay,
they went,
good.
yep.
Okay. And so, Phil, you'll just have to try to remember this for when you actually hit one at that certain age.
Yeah, you guys
Look
get
what you
a
got
primer.
coming forward to you.
Yeah, we didn't get a primer.
That's right.
Exactly.
So, of course, we start out at the dealership where we find out that I don't remember the character's name. There's somebody who wants to buy the dealership from Owen, not Andre, the character that Andre plays. And, of course, Andre, I'm just doing it. I'm just going to call him Andre and Owen. You guys will have to figure out what I'm talking
interchangeable.
about.
Is this the Alzheimer's or?
Yeah, that's it. My certain age all the time. Hey, man, my mom had that, I think. I can't remember. So And we find out, of course, Owen doesn't want to have anything to do with that. He wants to do something else with he's trying to make the business something it's never been, trying to grow it. Of course, his dad put him in a great spot because it's not being very helpful. It's not helpful that his dad put him in such a spot that doesn't have money to do that.
You know what I liked about that scene?
The Corvette?
Not only the Corvette, I loved seeing two car salesmen sparring with each other.
Yeah, that's nice.
And just, you're kind of like watching two masters. One guy's got an edge.
Yep.
But it was really fun to see them kind of like, sure, yeah, no problem. We'll table it, and
Yeah,
they're
it's
just
nice.
going back and
Great
forth.
dialogue on that.
It
So
was
so
very
much
good.
being said with that, saying it in a different way. That was nice. Phil, what did you think?
I actually liked it. I always like it when there's rivalries.
Yeah.
I can't-
Rivalries, that's okay. We got you.
Yes. See, we didn't learn to speak at our young age yet. But no, those, whether it's this TV show or other TV shows, those are my kind of favorite scenes when, you have two people sort of the same profession or whatever, and they go head to head.
Yeah, like cocksure attitudes. Pardon me. But that's fair to say because I'm not actually saying, okay.
Context.
Yes, there you go. And I thought it was interesting they used the Corvette because the Corvette ended up at the end of the movie end of the show.
Yeah.
And I thought that
Well,
was
it
odd
really
in one
is
way.
a symbol of
yes.
a man.
Especially at that age.
At that age.
Going through their midlife crisis.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What is
And,
the-
I just thought it was great that in that scene, they really put all of the power in the guy in the Corvette.
Yeah.
He didn't even get out of the car.
Yeah.
And he actually controlled that scene. But
By the way,
it-
ironic because he was looking, because Owen's character was looking down upon him.
Yeah.
Usually that's
The person in the
Right.
Yeah,
got the
that's-
upper hand is the one that's taller,
Right.
whatever.
exactly. So
But-
it's quite interesting in that regard.
Yeah, I don't often see a scene where you're actually moving in a car and a person walking at the same time. I thought that's pretty tricky to get on camera. That ain't easy.
no, it was good, and they did it well.
And of course, we got Marcus in there at the end there, so we knew that was going to be part of it. So.
Oh yeah.
And again, once again, we talked about Andre and his big butt. Every show they talk about how fat that guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's not even that fat, but they just ride him like crazy about what a big butt he has and everything like that. It's like I don't often hear that in my circle. We don't really talk about each other's butts that often.
Not with
No.
you in the room.
Ah, okay.
As
Well,
soon
there
as
you
you
go.
leave.
I stand corrected.
Well,
There's
John has a
nothing
skinny
else.
butt, I would say.
I do. And they did talk about skinny butts. What was that? They were talking about he has a man's butt.
Yeah, Ray Romano has nothing.
Yeah, he's got a olive oil butt.
Yeah, and Scott Terry.
Yeah.
His is just perfect.
Did you-
As,
of
as they're
course.
watching him leave, they're commenting on how perfect. Yeah,
He's
you
got
know, it's a good
His
butt.
butt's between yours and mine.
Yeah.
Which is a very strange thing to
This
say.
is really an odd thing to say.
Yeah, you don't often have that either.
Not in this version.
Yes, exactly. Where do we go to after that?
What in the scene?
Oh, we got to see Terry.
Yeah, he's
The first thing we get to see Terry, who's overslept, probably where we often find him in the middle of the day because he's used to not waking up early. But it's
Right.
unusual at this point because he has been working at the car dealership, but he's been doing well and all that kind of stuff. But for whatever reason, this day, and we don't know yet why, he's waking up late. He's hearing the answering machine go off, and he just doesn't want to have anything to do with life today. And we don't know why, which I thought they did a nice job of not telling us. It was just something was up, and we didn't know what it was. Did you guys have any idea what it was at the time?
No, I just figured he didn't want to be part of this.
He didn't want to face life today. I thought it was because he just didn't want to go back to the dealership. He just didn't like his life or whatever.
Well, I know what his character's going through.
Yeah.
And just how else do you deal with that except shut down and go through the motions?
Yeah,
And
but
I
I
figured
thought
that's where he was at.
Yeah. And they had a nice little thing there where he couldn't tie the tie correctly.
Yes, and gave
So
up.
that tells you a lot. Because Phil, do you know how to tie a tie?
it's still a struggle.
Yeah,
I feel like it's
okay.
always a struggle.
But by
Yeah.
the time you're 50, you should be able to tie
Yeah,
a tie,
so-
unless you've never had to.
Exactly,
And,
and
I thought that was a great moment
It
where he
was.
just goes, I
It's
can't
like
do it.
once
I've never
again
had
he
to."
can't tie the damn tie.
Right.
He just takes it off,
Yeah.
and that's the last symbol you see. It's just left there on the counter, and you walk away. And that right there says a lot for those of us who understand these things. Phil, you will soon.
Back when people wore ties.
By the way, half Windsor or full?
I'm definitely full Windsor.
Yeah,
Full.
full. Yep. It's the only classy way to go.
You just grabbed one.
Yeah, he had a 50-50 chance. He went for it. So then we see Ray, or Joe, his character, is at the links.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Uh,
just
That's hard to. He's so good.
Good at what? Being a nudge and a.
Just Ray Romano in this role is
Yeah.
you just kind of want to reach in and just go, dude, just it's
Relax,
gonna be fine.
chill.
It's
He's
fine.
just so. I mean, my
Yeah.
God, he makes me. I'm not that retentive, but my sphincter squeezes
I
up every
know, I
time he's
know.
on screen.
He's
It's
just
like, would you relax?
and I like he was golfing. Right?
Yeah.
Golfing,
Mhm.
and I guess that's his coach.
Yeah, that is his coach.
Just the awkward.
Oh,
What do I do with
uncomfortable.
this?
Uncomfortable.
And he wants to get back on the circuit.
Yeah, he wants to get back on the senior tour, or finally get on the senior
Finally
tour.
get on
when
the
he turns
senior
50,
tour.
yeah.
So yeah, he's got his mountain, doesn't he?
Yes, he does, and that's his dream. Of course, it's the golf, and which will play out later after he sees his son and how his son overcame his own anxiety, which is nice. And we'll see that. We'll talk about that in a second. So then we get back to the car dealership where we see Terry coming in late, and everybody's riding him for that, and he's looked like crap because he doesn't have a tie on, unshaven, and clearly doesn't want to be there. And the first thing he does, the first chance he gets, we find out, of course, he's tied with Marcus for the most car sales, and the first thing he does is steal Marcus's prospect. Just 'cause he-
Well, I think that was up for debate.
oh, whether he stole him?
I don't know. I don't know whether he would agree with that. But from
So you
where I
think
was
there was some
sitting,
discussion?
I
You
said he
think there
skated
was-
the guy.
oh, you
I
think
think he
so?
skated the guy.
I would say that, yeah. I think that was clearly a
I
skate.
think it was a skate.
Yeah.
And he had to split it.
Yep.
I like the relationship,
Well, that's great because they have
Owen and Terry.
between Owen and Terry.
Yeah, I like
Okay.
how they're having to find their way, and having to put aside the history that they have.
Yeah, they got all that friendship going in.
Right,
And now
and
we've
then-
got boss.
Yeah,
and employee
It really
and
is
all that
kind
other
of a
stuff.
good example of like when you hire a friend.
Yeah, it's-
you're hiring history.
Exactly. That's real tough
And
to deal with.
It is.
Well,
and they're
the
doing-
other relationship I think is great, and I hate the fact that they may be losing him, but Marcus in there because you got the young bull and the old bull, and they're both vying, and then could they come from different experiences and different
Yeah.
age brackets, all that kind of stuff, and you got great grist for the mill. And now at the end of the show, he quit, and I'm just going, what? Why do you want no?
he didn't just quit.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
He
We'll get
beat
to
a
that.
way out.
Yeah, that's right. He cold cocked his way out of it.
Yeah.
Hey, that's the second time I've used the term, or at least a version of it. So I'm going to use it 3 more times if I
Okay.
can.
Good for you.
So
I got a
let me
score
ask
right
you,
here.
being of the
Yes.
younger generation, Mr. Phil,
Sure.
do you relate to Marcus and his way of being?
I do. I
Yeah.
do. I mean, I can definitely see his point of view. In fact, not only can see it, I would agree with his. And I think you will see him a lot more. I think he's gonna like he was offered to the other dealership. He said,
Yeah.
"Hey, when you want to make some
Yeah,
serious
yeah, yeah.
cash or whatever, come to a real dealership."
That was a nice pair.
And I think that'll play out in future episodes.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I don't see how they would let that guy go.
Yeah.
I mean, why? I mean, it's just too good not to play with those kinds of issues.
You absolutely can see his point of view, though.
Oh yeah,
And he is working. He does come in with a tie.
absolutely.
And
He's got the numbers to back it up.
He's got and you've got
But I always hate those guys. I mean, yeah, he can back it up and all that stuff. But why do you guys have to be such a prick about it? You know what I mean?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's just the arrogance just drives me nuts. But hey,
It's
Oh,
the
whatever.
youth.
it's the youth, yeah, the entitled youth. Those they're crazy kids.
And I don't know if they're hitting on this or if I'm just seeing it, but I don't know if any of the younger salesmen, or I don't know if Marcus is seeing himself in
In Terry,
Terry.
what I might be
Yeah.
later on in life.
Yeah, because I'm sure a lot of these guys are thinking, no, man, this is just temporary.
Right.
I'm just getting some money together, and then I'm gonna go do my thing. I'm
Right.
gonna own something.
Right.
And in comes Terry, who has tried it,
Yeah.
and now is like, well, this is my fallback position.
Yeah,
where
he's
these
tucked
guys
his
are
tail
going,
in there.
this is what I do.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Again, maybe I'm just putting a layer on.
I don't
this.
know. That might be. That's interesting. Any thought on that, Phil?
I mean, I don't know enough of Marcus to kind of dissect it, but I definitely now thinking about it could be a factor.
Yeah, I find that interesting. It's a good thing.
No, because anytime, I mean, just imagine anytime someone comes in that's old and, you know what I mean? It's like, this is my job, and then all of a sudden someone views it as a backup job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's not good.
he's a friend of the boss and all that other stuff. And now I have to do. And the other thing that's worse is
He's good.
he's good.
He's good.
He's
And
doing this.
he's
He's got the numbers too.
But he's also not respecting
Yeah,
you know,
he doesn't
not
respect
respecting
the job.
tie.
He doesn't
Yeah.
respect the whole system.
There's a uniform.
Yeah,
we
he
wear
kind
here,
of
and
takes
who
it
are
with
you?
disdain. You know, it's like, well,
doesn't
whatever.
appreciate it.
Exactly, doesn't appreciate it.
So
Or the people there. Of course, they write each other like crazy. They both give each other crap. So I don't know what you're gonna do with that. Let's move on to where we see Joe with his bookie friend, who, of course, unfortunately, tragically, has cancer. He's dealing with the issues of chemo and going through all that stuff. And I find it interesting. I mean, you see this nice. Well, there's part of Joe, the character of Joe. So he's gonna try to help this guy out, even though it was such a struggle for him. Well, everything's a struggle for that guy. For crying out loud, every time he makes a decision, it takes years, and it's always angst-ridden. But so he's helping this guy out who's a bookie, and he's a gambler. And constantly, he just can't get away from it. He just can't get away from the world. And every time he's there, he's always cautious about what it's going to do, how it's going to set him back, and all that other stuff. He goes there, and of course, the bookie doesn't really care about anything at the moment because he's just dealing with the effects of chemo. And that's and we're just setting up that in that, for me anyway, that scene really was just setting up that Joe can't pull himself from the world. It's just too strong of a draw to him because I don't did you guys think that
you're putting the you're putting the Exalki in charge of the bar?
Exactly. He just can't avoid it.
And he won't avoid it, as we see.
Yeah, I love the bookie though. I think he does a great job.
I have seen him so many times.
I know he's amazing, isn't he?
He's great. He does nothing in there, and you're just captivated by him. But he's that guy that you see and go, "Oh, that guy."
Exactly.
He's. I wonder how many scenes in, if he stays, that he has to shave his head now because of the chemo.
Interesting. Yeah, that'll be fine. We'll have to find out about that.
I say 2 seasons. I say 2 more episodes, and he's bald.
Right.
That's my prediction.
What'd you say? Two
episodes and he's bald.
Before.
They finally say, "Gotta shave your head, man. You're in chemo."
Yeah, I guess that's the rule.
That's what it was in Breaking Bad.
Oh, that's right. Is it?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know there was a rule.
Well, it's a rule. I heard.
In the writer's circle?
In the writer circles.
All right.
Nice.
We don't talk about it.
All right.
First rule of
writer
writing.
circle, yeah,
You don't talk about it.
Okay, so we finally get back to the dealership where we get the big meeting with with Owen and Marcus and Terry when they're all bitching and moaning about how he took my prospect, and we finally get to see Owen have to deal with the fact that his friend is screwing up his business. So, and what is he trying to do? All right, we'll just split it between the two. Is everybody happy? They say no, and he goes, "Oh, then I've done my job."
Yeah.
He's in a no-win situation there anyway, and really it was so petty. He's like, "Shut up, quit being babies, get back out there, right?"
I was kind of expecting him to hold Terry just aside and say, you're better than this.
Right.
Stop this. He didn't.
Right.
And that was interesting.
Because we did, then the episode would be over. So we have to string that out as long as we can. Which was I appreciate that because they were stingy with it. They let it go on so that we could. Because we still at this point we don't really know why Terry's in a funk. We think it's about his age. We think it's about his acting career nowhere, or now I have to work here. We don't exactly know why he's all upset.
No.
And which is great. I liked that because it kept me going. When are they going to let us know? Or is it this? I was still guessing.
And it was a good beat because I was watching it. I was thinking, okay, you're not a bad car salesman.
Yeah, so what's
you're
the
just
deal?
there. You're tied. So what is your problem? So that beat, that definitely kept it alive.
Right.
It was an interesting.
And of course, finished off with nice repartee.
Yes. Where they all decided which
you're
Jordan they
and
were.
you're somebody else.
And then they had to determine which Jordan.
Exactly. No, that means you're Pippen. No, well, that means you're Jordan when he plays the
White
Magic.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yes, that's right. Oh my God, that was funny.
I'm gonna say I don't know who the writers are on this, but there are some writers of that age. I'm guessing probably Ray Romano's got a lot to say about it.
And Mike Royce do some of it. I don't remember. I forgot to look at who wrote this particular episode.
Okay, but
maybe,
absolutely.
Maybe we can coerce Jesse into finding out for us.
Really?
I don't know. We might be lucky enough. See, I don't know if we'll get the hint though. How can we let him know that we like that information? All right. So
let me
while
write
he
it
does
down
that,
and I'll hold it up.
Okay, but here's one of the best lines. When we go back to the restaurant, we're at Norm's or whatever the hell it is, and they're talking about that. Joe finally reveals he has ass bone trouble. the hell is ass bone? Look, I'm not quite a man of that age, so what the hell is ass bone trouble?
I guess
and does it happen when you hit 50?
I don't have any trouble with my coccyx, which
Okay.
is very close to
to your
the
ass bone or your
cos-
sacrum, which is not to be confused with the other. but
Exactly.
Those are.
Ken Blake Stein.
Thank you very
Thank
much. Look at
you.
that from the heavens. We hear
Voice-
Ken Blake's
voices.
Ken, you did a great job here. We
Wonderful,
appreciate
Ken.
it. Very funny. Very
Um,
nicely done.
You know, but it's kind of like my knee. You know,
Oh, that's
suddenly
true. He's
it's
got a bad knee.
Trick knee.
It's a
So
trick
I'm
knee that
sure
goes
it's
out of
one of
place
those
when-
things where it's
As
just
we mature,
as we mature.
these things happen. Do you have an ass bone trouble?
No, but I remember when I used to play soccer. This was back in high school.
Mhm.
Our friend hurt his tailbone,
Yeah.
and he'd have to sit on one of those donut things.
Yeah, on the kitchen.
Even when he was like 17 or whatever it was.
Yeah, and it was
nice.
very funny. And I
Nice.
think that's what Joe should do. Just
Yeah,
always
just-
carry around a
yeah.
donut.
Yeah,
Like, yep.
the
Exactly, that is
the
it.
donut pillow.
Yeah.
So coffee and donuts means a whole different thing.
Do-
then, so.
and you can't cast that.
Yeah,
you
no, it's
can't put
not-
a cast on your
Yeah.
ass bone. It's just something you gotta,
Yeah, 'cause
you know,
How
take
could
care
you do that?
of
Because you need a little trap door for
Yeah.
those times when. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
to
wouldn't work.
change it.
But and who was it? What was it they said about so the ass bone trouble? Wouldn't that be a horrible name for a blues singer or
Oh
something
yeah, the
like
worst
that?
blues singer ever.
Yeah, ass bone trouble.
Ass bone.
Yeah,
Ass bone.
nice
the worst
line,
blues
guys.
singer- Yeah.
Nice line, guys.
Nice.
And this is when we finally find out that Terry is 50 years old,
Ah.
and so we finally get a
Big
hint of what's going through
50.
his mind, and that's why he's all upset, or at least we think that's what's all. So we'll find out later what the rest of it is. But and he says what everybody says who's turning 50.
I don't want to party.
Yeah.
I don't do anything special. It's no big deal. It's only a number.
that's the thing. It's just
Yeah.
a number. But you know what? Everybody says that when they turn 42 or
Exactly.
30. I mean,
Exactly.
Phil, okay, Phil, you're not even close to 30 yet. Do you even give a rat's patoot about 30
I've-
at this age?
Well, I've never really given much crap about birthdays.
That's true.
Yeah.
Ever,
Have you
right?
thought about what you want for your 50th?
Yeah, he's
Now, let
still
me
waiting
ask-
for his 25th.
All right, let's debate this then.
All right.
My generation loves the birthday weekend. There's also the birthday week. There's also the birthday month. As
Your,
you-
your
Wow,
generation, seriously?
really?
Oh,
You
they're all
entitled
about-
little twerps.
They love the birthday month.
Really?
Yeah.
See,
Oh,
I
it's
don't know
my
anything
birthday
about
month.
that. I don't know anything about that.
No, that's when you go and let's say your birthday's in the month of June. Oh, it's my birthday month. That means you have to be nice to me.
really.
You guys, you
a
get a
whole
whole
month. I
month.
have to be freaking
Nice.
nice
You're
to you.
kidding me.
Nice. You
See,
guys
I don't know
work
if
it.
this is my generation or not. I know I certainly know it's my family. My family we barely celebrated birthdays. So to this day I don't. Like, the birthday comes go. I don't. There's no birthday week. There's no birthday. I'm
Yeah.
working. I don't care. I've never really celebrated. My wife, of course, has to make a big deal out of it. But
If it weren't for your wife, you would have no idea how old you are.
it's true. I wouldn't. The
You
day
be,
would come
I'm
and go.
somewhere in this range.
Exactly. I don't. And in fact, the people ask me, but I've always been this way. How old are you? When's your birthday? All that kind of thing. And I would go. I have to think about it because I don't keep track. I don't care. I've never. So what do you do for your birthday? Oh, that's right. It was this week. and
The
literally-
only way you know is that
Exactly.
you suddenly show up and a bunch of friends are there with presents.
is that the only way I know that?
Oh,
Every
is
once
this
in a
for
while, I
me?
say, hey, I got a card for my brother. What is it? Oh, that's right.
You ever walk into a situation you're like, oh damn, I didn't get anything for. Oh wait.
Well, here's the honest truth. Before I got married, yes. After I got married, no. But the flip side of that is only because she knows me and always has a whole bunch of gifts ready to go. Because I will inevitably say, "Oh, by the way, it's a birthday party." 5 minutes before we walk out the door,
Exactly.
literally, and she'll go.
Yeah.
I get this 5 minutes before.
You
Well,
just tell me it's a birthday party now.
yes.
Or she says it in a higher voice, but that's
Yes.
about it.
And then, but 10 minutes later, there's a perfect gift ready to go
See?
with a card.
That's because dames,
Yeah.
they're still trouble. But
Well, what I did is I
okay.
proved to her, look, you can get everything ready in 10
That's right.
minutes. You don't need to spend the day shopping.
Right.
Look at that.
nice.
You're welcome.
Okay, there's a little detour for the number. But
Sorry.
okay, so we're getting no, that's fine. I appreciate
Birthday
it.
month.
Exactly. So you guys go birthday month, which is just I find that hysterical. We have to be nice to somebody for a whole month,
Yeah.
as opposed to just being civil to each other the entire year. But okay, for
No,
you're
it's not,
entitled
even, it's not even
youth.
civil. It's the fact that you have to worship them for a
You
month.
have to suck
Oh,
up to them
nice.
for an entire month
Nice.
because it's their birthday.
yeah,
yeah,
you have to
I'm
buy me
wondering-
free drinks.
I
It's
think about
birthday
my
month.
dad, who he was a Depression era guy. The thought of being that would just my God, he's spinning in his grave thinking about it. But my God, they're so entitled that they have to give a whole month to him.
You know, where do you want to go for your birthday dinner?
You got a birthday dinner?
We did.
Nice.
We were
lucky
rich.
you.
Yeah, we got a birthday dinner, and we got to choose.
We
so
were
long
lucky to
it
get
was-
dinner.
So long it was one of two places. The place where they got to
Yeah.
eat for free or the real cheap place.
Nice. Okay.
And,
Yeah.
a gift.
So, but this 50-year-old, it's just a number. It's like everybody else says that. I didn't even think about my 40th, so I don't even know what I'll be thinking about at the 50th. So, so then, oh yeah, that's where we get to have Andre talk. I'm sorry, Owen talking about how he wants to be George Carlin.
Oh, God.
Which again, I'm thinking about. Phil, do you even know George Carlin?
No.
Okay.
Apparently he's funny. Owen's funny.
Oh my God. Well, he was the guy that came up with the 7 words you can't say on TV.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that was
Yeah.
that comedian.
All right.
Been around forever. Unfortunately, passed away a few years ago.
Hippy dippy weatherman.
Hippy dippy weatherman. He had a lot of characters. He did.
Put it this way: every time he went on the air, every single executive was sweating bullets because
yeah.
he was.
He was
a loose
prior.
cannon.
He was prior to Richard Pryor.
Yes, he was. He opened a lot of doors. for
Yeah,
a lot of
exactly.
people.
And and he was just at the. I think at the tail end, or might have even been a contemporary of Lenny Bruce, but of course went on well after him because Lenny unfortunately passed away as well.
Yeah.
Which Lenny Bruce you may not be aware of either. No? Okay, we'll move on. Those of you who are listening who are men of a certain age, I'm sure you're aware who Lenny Bruce is and George Carlin. And we won't be saying the 7 words here today. So, but I thought that was a nice touch for those of us who are of that certain age. And the parting line from that, just because you're old doesn't mean you have seniority, which I thought for me encapsulated Terry's feeling at the moment.
Mhm.
He's old and he has no seniority, which means you don't have any power. And I think he felt powerless in this. That's why he was feeling the way he did. I'm 50 years old, and the way he was looking at his life, he just doesn't have anything.
Well, and it also goes right to the point of hiring history. In that line, he's
Right.
basically telling them, "I hired you. I didn't hire our history together."
Exactly, and you're
and-
the low man on the total pole right
Yeah,
now because you
and-
have no seniority, all that kind of stuff. which is
But I
nice.
love
even
that
though you're the oldest.
The nice thing about that is, when they're in the booth, that's their therapy session. There's no one running it.
Yeah, that's
but
nice.
That's their therapy session.
Good analogy.
And
nice.
then when they bring that into the booth,
Right.
it falls on Ray.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it falls on Joe to kind of like, am I going to run this thing or what?
Yeah.
And it was just nice to see that kind of conflict come
Yeah.
into the safe area.
Right.
Where
And they did a nice job with the camera work because they showed Owen and Terry not really talking to each other, but obviously Owen was really aware of what the hell was going on with
Mhm.
Terry, and then so I thought that was nice how they played the silences there rather than spell it all out for
Yep.
you, which was done nicely. I appreciated that. We move on to Joe going home because he has to take his son's band to school.
oh God.
And he goes inside. The first he hears how horrible they are. I mean, I literally when I heard that, I was going, "Ow, what the hell?" And that's exactly what. I mean, it wasn't quote young music. They were playing, trying to play whatever kind of music. It wouldn't matter what they were trying to play. It was just horrible.
Oh
way it
yeah, no,
sounded.
it was bad. And
Yeah, and you're a
loud.
musician,
and,
so yeah, it must have really offended you. Phil, by the way, is an amazing musician as well. So, what did you think, Phil?
I am certainly not a good musician. No, but again, what do you say to your kid of like, okay,
I
you
don't know.
suck.
I know
Well,
exactly, and that's what he was struggling with his wife.
What you do is you do exactly what they did. Is you look
Yeah.
at each other and go, "Oh,
Yeah.
here's a moment as being parents.
How do we support him?
We just kind of grin and bear it."
Yeah.
And
Well,
let-
you
well,
don't
what
have
it
that
is-
problem because your son is an amazing musician.
Well, thank you, but
By the way,
there
if I
have
may give a
been
plug.
Yes, please give a plug.
No, well, Steve and his son Nick, right? Nick.
yes.
They're so good at what they do that John and I are producing a movie, Serial Buddies. You may have heard us talk about it in this show and certain other shows that we do for AfterBuzz.
Yes.
And so they were supposed to do one song, then it kind of snowballed into, well, that you guys did that song, and they actually came to us and they wanted to do kind of a Rage Against the Machine spinoff. So we're like, okay, give it a whirl, and we liked that. And they got so good that now we're throwing way more at them, and so you're gonna hear them in Serial Buddies.
Yeah, we're gonna throw as much as we can.
Well,
The
we've been
first-
having a great time.
Yes, the first serial killer comedy
Yes.
ever.
Yeah. And you guys pulled
It's
it
a-
off.
It's a feel-good movie of the summer.
Just don't ever try to explain it.
Yeah, exactly. yeah, you have to
yeah,
experience it. It has to
it's-
flow over you.
it's
And,
every-
it
but
does.
no,
It's
what
very-
you do in that moment is
Yeah, what do you do with the
you
kids?
just you put on your parent hat and go, well, I think it's going to be a learning experience for everybody, and you just
Learning
you just
experience.
kind of pray that please don't crash and burn too hard.
Which is exactly what he says. Oh my God, should we have? He's of course Joe is more nervous, more angst-ridden than his son is, but
Yeah.
which is, of course, why his son is nuts.
Yeah.
Which I found it funny because the bookie obviously said that, you're making your kid crazy.
Yeah.
And he is.
The bookie knew
But he's going,
more.
he's trying to figure out how he can get his son out of it rather than give him confidence so he can
Yeah.
get through it, which I find hysterical.
Yeah.
Which is,
Well, he's just trying to protect his son.
oh, absolutely, he's
you
trying to
know,
protect him, but he's coming at it from the wrong approach.
Absolutely.
Instead of building him up, he's just trying to make him avoid when that's why you see why his golfing is in trouble too. He's not dealing with any of it. So, and the way he deals with it is gambling. But anyway, let's move on. So we'll get to that when we.
Oh, I do have an excellent. Here's one of those moments where you hear it and you go, oh, yep. He had something planned. He gets a call. Joe has
Right.
something planned. Gets a call, and he has to be at this place at 2:00 to pick the kids up.
Right.
That is very true. That your kids will start to arrange your schedule for you.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
That's what happens.
The only thing that wasn't true about it is he had like 2 hours heads up.
Oh yeah, usually.
Normally you
get
get
10 minutes
oh,
heads
you
up.
know what? I need to be here now.
Oh, by the way.
Okay, but no,
And
that
you
is
have to
so
drop
true.
everything?
I started chuckling, going, "Yep, absolutely." It's like
So that's a reality there
that's
for you.
very much
So
reality.
you got to wonder if God was his name Mark. What was the guy's name? Blank's name. Sorry, Jesse. What was his name?
Who's?
The
oh,
writers.
Oh, the writer. I didn't write it down.
Well, anyway, I'm wondering if he has kids or if they got that from somewhere. If that's because obviously they're pulling from life and everything. Like
They
that,
are
so.
definitely pulling from life.
All right, so we'll move on to the talent show where we get to see the Dutch Oven perform.
Oh my
which is
God!
a
Yeah,
lovely
great
little-
name.
Great name. So Albert's band is finally going out there, and they're called Dog's Best Friend. And what happens, as one might expect, of course, Joe's out in the audience with his ex-wife and his daughter, and he's nervous. He's more nervous than anybody. And of course, Albert doesn't go out on stage. There's just the guitar sitting there, and nobody's picking it up, and all the rest of the band is worried about it. And we're all going, "Is he going to show?" Because, quite frankly, in other episodes, you would think, "Oh, the kid just decided he can't do it, and he's probably throwing up in the bathroom or something like that." Finally comes out, and I don't know if Joe was actually happy about that. I think he was still sweating in his boots about that. So they start their little show. And then, of course, they end up. I don't remember what song they were playing, but it was. Do you remember? What it was?
We'll go round in circles.
Well, okay,
We'll
so
go
they-
round in circles.
Yeah, that's right. And they did a decent job for a high school band.
That was the
decent job.
best part.
Exactly.
Is when they started to pull it off.
Because we had just heard them 5 minutes earlier, and they sounded horrible.
Yeah, and not only that, but the mom says,
Yeah.
"Don't worry, it's just a high school thing. No one's good at these things." And of course, Dutch Evan was awesome.
Yeah, Dutch
and
Evan
they're
was
following
nice.
Dutch Evan.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
when they start playing it and they start pulling it off, I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be one of those things where they are awesome, but they weren't.
Okay. Yeah, they were
right
just right.
where
as
they
a
were
high school thing.
supposed to be.
Exactly, and you've been to many of those as a high school. Now let me ask you, as a dad who
Yeah.
has 2 kids, if you're in the audience and your kid's going up there, what's the pucker factor for you?
Oh, huge. Huge. Honestly, you're just concentrating on breathing.
Yeah.
And if you haven't broken your wife's hand at this point, it's contused. and you're telling yourself, this is funny. This is just kids. It's just it's high school. No one's ever good at these things. You're telling yourself all this stuff, and it isn't until either you hear the first note that's right. Or like in my younger son Benjamin's case,
Yeah.
he did some stand-up stuff.
Yeah, he did some stand-up.
When you hear that first chuckle,
Yeah.
that you finally
You start to relax?
Oh my God! It's like
Did
you
you start
just
to
crested
relieve?
the roller
Oh my God.
coaster, and you're just like, going,
Oh,
okay, now I can go on the ride.
He didn't crash and burn.
Yeah, he didn't crash and
Because
burn.
you're thinking at the point, God, if he crashes and burn, what am I going to say?
Exactly.
Oh my God, how am I going to pick him up?
Exactly. Exactly. This is. Wait a minute. I didn't sign up for this one.
Exactly. Can somebody else be the dad?
Yeah. Oh man, rent a dad.
Exactly. Wouldn't
There's
that be
a
nice?
business.
That's a good
I can't
business.
do this, man. I need a rent a dad in here.
All right. So they do a decent job, but the best part about it is, what does Albert do? He tries to rip off his shirt. He tries and he's so scrawny, he can't rip off his shirt.
No,
so,
he can't.
So he tears it. He doesn't tear it off. He pulls it off, and then you think that's going to be enough. Oh, by the way, you get to see nice boxer shorts because they're above the jeans.
Because he's doing the
Oh, that
sagging.
crap. Absolutely nice. And then pours water on us. I swear to God, when he poured the water, I thought this kid's going to get electrocuted. And that's, just when his high moment, he's going to get fried and have to go to the hospital.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Were you?
No.
Okay. But no, that's not what happened.
He was just into it.
That's just it. Now, there's a front man for you.
But again,
a front man in the
A
making.
great moment in there where Joe, the father's like smiling. Oh, the shirt comes off. He's like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And then when he does the flash dance water bit.
Yeah, exactly.
You hear Joe go, "Oh, that's enough." You know, just under his breath, as a dad would do. It's like, just stop.
It went too far.
Yeah,
Yeah, nice.
nice.
And the wonderful high school behemoth that he is. The nice scrawny body was good. That was
yeah,
funny.
absolutely.
That
All the
cracked me up.
kids, you absolutely believed that they had just
could have been in
the
high
right
school.
amount of experience
Yeah.
at that age
Uh-huh.
to do
And
that.
awkwardness.
And evidently, this kid actually does have a band.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, and they're gigging, and you
Good
can
for
find
him.
out a little bit more information
Well,
online.
good for him.
But yeah, he does have a band.
And I liked Doc. I thought Doc was great.
Yeah. Oh,
Kid that
okay.
played
Another moment where I really like that moment where Joe says, "Hey, Doc," and the kid turns around like,
Yeah.
"What?"
Yeah, but he goes
Like,
to him like he defers to him completely, like yes sir, almost like yes sir, but he had the kind of
And there have been that moments with me and
Yeah.
Nicholas's friends where you just kind of go, "Hey," and you forget
That you're
no,
the
no,
dad.
dude, you're 50 years old. You're
Yeah,
the
you-
adult. you don't. And it's like kind of you're just, yeah, I'm the old guy.
I'm the old-
Hey.
right now I'm the old creepy guy.
Yeah, you ever hear of George Carlin?
Yeah. No, they don't.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
that was a great moment where it's just like, you're not going to break through.
And we got to see that he was not afraid, and then he turns to his dad and he says "mind's eye" thing, which was Joe was a very interesting and important moment to Joe because obviously something he said to his son had sunken in,
Mm-hmm.
and it was effective, and he could see that his son had overcome some of this fear, and that would fuel Joe into deciding that I'm going to do better with the golf thing and all that other stuff, which we saw later when he was went back to the links and went back to Ray.
Yeah, he saw his philosophy work.
Exactly. So I said, "Geez, if it worked for my son,
Mhm.
which is kind of weird. You'd think he would have realized it worked first and then given him that.
Yeah, you would think.
Yeah.
Try this out. I heard it's good.
Exactly. So after that, we go back to the restaurant where Terry, of course, is eating his, I don't know, I guess is eating himself into oblivion in some fashion because
Well, he got sent home.
he got sent home, right? Because
Yeah.
he took Terry's.
That's right.
I'm sorry, he
He
took
snaked
Marcus's and he skated him and all that other stuff. So he's at a restaurant. And he picks up the waitress.
Mhm.
Classic Terry, which we love
Mhm.
about him because he picks up everybody. I don't know about you. I wasn't that guy. I didn't even have a friend that was that guy, but I'd heard about that.
Well,
Are you that? You're probably that guy, right? You do all the picking up, right, Phil? You're the ladies man.
No, I would say 50-50.
50.
My brother.
Oh, of course, yeah. He was
Yeah,
a
he was
model.
a model.
The whole
And
thing,
there was
man.
nothing off
He had
limits.
dames everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did. I was not that guy.
Oh, but your brother was.
Yeah.
That's tough to live up to.
You know what it is? It's just a talent.
Yeah.
You just have something about your wiring that
Yeah.
you can do it.
And your brother had it. Huh?
In
for him.
spades.
So he takes the waitress home, and of course, they start getting amorous with one another right outside his apartment. And what does he do? He opens up the apartment, and what's inside?
Best moment ever.
Yeah, that was great. I was not expecting that at all because I just, it's Terry. I just assume, they're gonna take her. He's gonna go into the room. They're gonna have sex, and boom, boom. They woke up. They open up the door, and there they are, all his friends. Happy
Surprise!
50th, the big banner, everything. All his friends are. I thought that was great because everybody asked, "Oh, this must be Aaron."
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not Aaron. Her name is Laura. And of course, she's thrilled to be there at this point.
Oh yeah.
Of course, she makes a hasty retreat. I think I'm gonna.
Because not only is she, feeling very uncomfortable, she's making everyone she meets feel incredibly awkward.
Yeah, because they never met Aaron, and Aaron
We've
supposedly
heard
is
so
this-
much about you.
Yes, Aaron.
Okay.
This is a woman I love. And,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, I thought he was in love with Aaron.
Yeah.
Why is he bringing Laura home? So we know something's up big time because either Terry is really upset about this 50th birthday or something else is going on because Aaron should have been there. And obviously she wasn't, so we know something else is going on.
Yeah, I was actually I was a little confused on that beat because somebody put all the people together.
Yeah, the guys.
The guys.
Yeah,
and there was
'cause-
a lot of friends there.
Yeah, we heard later on when
how-
Owen was talking to his wife and they were in bed, and she says, "Did he even thank you for putting on that party?"
Right, but what I was confused about is how did no one contact her?
Oh, a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But then again, they hadn't even really met her.
Yeah. Well, and
Obviously.
they did cover it. I've heard so much about you.
Yeah,
and blah,
exactly.
blah, blah,
So
blah,
they
blah.
hadn't even met her. So why didn't she get? That's
right.
yeah.
But
no.
anyway, it was a great beat.
Oh,
Because
who knows? Maybe they did. Somebody did call her, left a message, that kind of thing, and she just
Could be.
decided not to respond. But
Could
they
be.
didn't even deal with that. So, and of course Steve is there with the joint, which is Terry's old supplier, shall we say?
Is he in a program?
Who? Terry?
Terry.
I don't believe so. I haven't seen him.
Okay, because he did say it's been 20 days, man.
20
So-
weeks.
20 weeks.
Yeah, 20 weeks.
Which is 20 years for a stoner.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I guess he was just trying to stay clean for the new job.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I think that was the whole thing about turning over a whole new leaf and trying to be responsible, all that kind of stuff. He decided to steer clear of that for 20 weeks, and then very didn't take much
No.
convince. Yeah, give me that.
One trip to the bathroom.
Exactly.
I love that. He comes out after that moment of looking at it, you know,
Yeah.
and the tight shot on the
Yeah.
J. And then you see him come out and he's smiling.
Oh, but I like the shot of him just sitting there on the toilet.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Concerned
looked
with
really
yeah,
pathetic.
yeah, he
Actually,
did.
here I'm 50 years old. I got all my friends out there, and I'm sitting. I'm choosing to sit in here on a toilet.
And the reason he's there in the first place is because everyone started yelling speech.
Oh,
and
yeah,
he,
and
and
he
he
said,
shut
"That's
everyone
it,
down.
no
I'm not
speech."
doing a speech
That was weird.
until I go to the bathroom. But I love the fact when he comes out, you see the smoke wafting in the background, and he's
Yeah.
smiling.
Yeah. And the great song, the way they did the music there,
Yeah.
that was terrific.
Oh, that's my other point of it. They've got some really good music
yeah,
in that.
and they
show.
use it well.
And they do use it well.
They use it very well. And of course, they almost all the music speaks to the age.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you know any of those songs.
Back
Phil.
in the day.
I do. I think,
Okay.
I mean, what I like about this show is kind of in the vein of Californication on Showtime,
Yeah.
where, for that, they don't pick music that's not for that character, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
They're very
So-
specific with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in like that show, I know Ray Romano is heavily involved in like the editing and all that,
Right.
and so he has almost final say.
I would imagine he does.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So I really like
We'll have
that.
to get him on here so he can tell us all about it.
By the way, well, I was gonna announce that later, but
Oh, sorry. Okay. Well, we'll hang on to that. Hang on to that.
all right.
So
I'm going to think of some names that we can get on too.
okay,
I'm just
you
pull 'em
do
up.
that.
I'm going to start
All
writing
right.
them down now.
So we get to see Terry in just a horrible mess, and then he decides, well, what the hell? He smokes a joint. He comes out. What's the first thing he does?
Yep.
Picks up the caterer.
Mm-hmm.
Who's
Right back to being
35
Terry.
years old?
Yeah, 35. And she's a day. She's 35.
You think older?
Mhm.
No.
No, yeah. I like that they had the I can't remember the guy's name. Those squirrely-ish car salesman,
Yeah,
the white dude who was trying to pick up on her first.
You know, I was watching him, and I was wondering, just from an actor's point of view, is it tough to have to play that character so well?
I don't know, but that's I
Because
think
he
that's
does it really well.
he does really well, and that's part of they talk about being brave as an actor. You have
Yeah.
to really just be present, and you gotta. That's who you are. You gotta
Right.
accept that this is your instrument.
This is my package.
You got to use
yeah.
it. You got to use it as best you can. So, and to be willing to put yourself out. That's why I think there's bravery, because you'd be willing to put yourself out there like that. And I'm sure he's a fine gentleman, all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
But that and that's what makes that thing work. Is he willing to commit to that character completely,
Mm-hmm.
and you buy it totally, which I again appreciate about that. So where are we?
So he is scoring on the caterer, and Joe and Owen. Owen and his wife are in awe.
yeah, exactly.
It's like a documentary unfolding in front of them.
And what was it line they said? It's like a lion circling its
Circling
prey.
And as they walk away, you can hear him say, "There can only be one outcome."
Yeah, exactly. They've seen it a million times. The guy's just good. He just knows how to do it. He's just like your friend.
My friends suck at it.
Yeah. Which I experienced last weekend. So.
Yes, John got to see the youthful side.
Yes,
of,
I did. I
Boston.
went out with the young bucks.
Oh wow! Are you
yeah.
recovered yet?
Oh, absolutely. It was an interesting. I was like, Attenberg. The guy that goes out into nature and
Oh,
checks.
sure. Yeah.
Exactly. Check out the. Here's the young buck in the forest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what I liked is
Put you in
that
a ghillie outfit, so you
Exactly.
blend it in.
well, to kind of give you people context, since we brought it up, it was in Boston. It was
Yes.
at I would say one of the top hotels there.
Yes, very nice.
And they have a bunch of bars downstairs, and Saturday night, all the young hip
Yeah.
people.
So-called hip people. Well, go ahead.
And so there's John just observing all of
Yeah.
this, and we got him a drink too, so
Yeah.
he was part of that.
Yeah.
He had
So
fun.
you were the documentarian.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
It was fabulous.
Now, if that happened and I was actually involved,
Mhm.
I would be needing a chiropractor appointment massage,
'Cause-
therapy session.
uh,
No, it's you just get to a point where you just have to let the young kids go. But it's great to watch. Usually.
yeah, it was
No.
painful this time. This time
Was
was
it painful to
yeah,
watch?
these guys had lost their mojo. They just. It's
Yeah, it wasn't
Well,
good.
if
It wasn't
one of
good.
them
not
has
pretty.
a birthday, no one gets to do anything but wait on this guy. So
exactly for a month.
yeah, for a month. What are you going to be doing? And what else do you need?
God.
I want her. No.
Oh man.
birthday months.
Yeah, birthday
They're
months.
great.
All right, so
Then what
okay.
happened?
So, by the way, so now we go to Joe where he meets up with his bookie. The bookie asks him
Mm.
to do a favor, go pick up $500 for me. And so again, this is why I go,
Aw,
he shouldn't be hanging around with his
yeah.
bookie. I feel bad for the bookie. I'm sorry he's
Yeah.
having his chemo, but Joe
Yeah.
shouldn't be hanging out there. It's just
No,
bad for
it
him.
really shouldn't be.
And what does he do?
And-
He says, "Yeah, fine," because he's trying to be a good guy, and he just, you just knock it off. But he can't. He's addicted. There's nothing he can do about it.
He's conflicted.
He's addicted.
He's addicted.
He's just addicted.
Yeah.
Emphasis on the dick.
But again, you love seeing him in those
I know.
situations just
yeah,
because you
it
can
is.
just
Sarah's like,
seeing
no,
this
you're
guy
going, no,
squirm.
no, don't. Oh, he did it again.
Yeah.
So he goes and he, of course, picks up the $500, and of course, what happens if the guy wants to make another bet? And again, you're going, it wasn't bad. It was bad enough that you went there to just get your feet wet again or keep yourself in the game. You're picking up $500, and then what do? You take a $100 bet. Just classic. Classic. Can't get it out of his own way.
He is the
Self-defeating.
nicest bookie, though.
Oh yeah,
He
he's a nice
really
dude.
is. I mean,
Yeah,
he
he
came
says
by, he
Joe.
confirmed the conditions. He made sure we're on
Hey,
the
just
same
wanted to make
page.
sure. But that's a classic thing. This character
Absolutely.
always comes back. He's out the door. What does he do? He turns right
comes-
back around. Just one more thing.
I half expected, okay, I got
It's
a
almost like
contract
Columbo.
here, just so that we
Crying
know.
out
Yeah,
loud,
exactly.
One more
Just do
thing.
one more thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so he makes a bet. He takes a bet.
Yep.
From now, and there's two things I was thinking about that. One, you're a gambler, of
Yeah.
course, but then the other thing is, what happens when the bookie finds out?
Yeah,
You're
you're
taking
taking
his-
bets on his name.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I wonder if that's a beat that we're going to see later.
Well, we hope. But what's he
I
gonna
would
do?
hope.
He's in chemo.
And
But,
he's having a hard time of it.
And along with all that stuff, I don't know if he did it because of. Couldn't quite tell the impetus. But he's back at the links, and that's when his coach finally says, "Hey, look, this is
There's
there are
local
other
stuff,
people here who can help you who are local." And he just wants out of it.
He does. And the interesting bit on that was he was so psyched about this, mind over matter philosophy.
Right, it's
that
like mind's eye thing.
mind's eye thing
Yeah,
that
it's to
worked for his
visualize
son.
exactly. He was ready. Couldn't wait to try it.
Yeah, it was
Thought
just
this was
like
going to be the magic bullet.
This is
It's
proof
going to make
it
my
works.
life all better. I'm finally
Yeah.
going to be able to live my dream.
And it just
Because it worked for my kid when he played rock music at his high school.
yeah.
It's got to work for me.
It's
sounds
something,
like a
something I
gamble.
showed my son. I think it's going to make a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it didn't.
Tops out.
It wasn't good.
Tops out.
And now his coach wants out.
Yeah. That was
So
awkward.
not a lot of confidence building over there on
No,
the
no.
links.
Not at all.
Did he ever get his 8-iron back, do you think?
Yeah. It ended up in the greens.
By the way, that's the worst when you just flip
Yeah.
and then you just have to like
You have to go-
bend the pieces.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to go pick everything
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
It's like when you,
The walk of
the
shame.
traditional, you have a big final, you'll never see me again, and you get to your car and realize you left your keys on the desk. You have to
Well,
go back.
it's funny because so Joe has that one. He throws the club out there, and then it's like, oh crap, now I gotta go get it. And there's that, and that's the same way I think Terry felt when he woke up in the.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call her the sorority girls.
Oh
I know how
God,
old she
the
was.
caterer.
Yeah, the caterer's room. He wakes up in her bed, and her roommate knocks on the door and comes right on in, and there she is, asleep with the 50-year-old. And I love the look on the roommate's face. Is like, oh my
Yeah,
God,
she
what
does
are you-
the squinty.
cringing, the
cringing.
cringing look. It's like, what are you doing in bed with that old man?
I love how he wakes up and looks and sees the collage.
Oh, it's the collage of
and there's
fashion
no there's a
thing.
huge collage of like nothing done. It's just a collage of this girl of maybe just a few years.
Yeah.
And he's looking at this thing and
Oh my
he's thinking
God.
again, there's nothing, there's no history here. I am literally making no history in my existence.
Yeah.
I'm going backward.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a nice piece to see that collage up there.
And that same shame, which I think
Yes.
that's that Joe has
The
for
shame.
exactly. There's shame involved. I'm sure it was fun at the time.
Yeah.
But now he's feeling even worse about himself.
Yeah.
So,
The
classic.
the morning does tend to come around.
In the light of day.
Yeah. If they can fix that.
Exactly. And that, of course, ends up later. He goes to work afterwards. He comes in later, and he's just even. I don't think he changed any clothes either. I think it was the same clothes. He was even unshaven when he got there. Anyway, I think it was the same clothes. I think when he went right to work, because he says, I'm late for work. So I think he
Yeah.
went straight to work.
Yeah.
And what does he end up doing? He ends up asleep in the car.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Boy, is he screwing up like crazy.
Yeah.
They go
have to get him out of a car.
They have to get him out of the car, which is this. That's just bad. That's tacky.
But the day got worse.
Oh, yeah, of course. Why not?
It was that was in that same segment, right, where he gets in the vet.
Yeah, because he tells him, look, get him out of here. Get Hollywood out of here. Owen actually says that.
Right.
Tell Hollywood to go home. And so he ends up, he decides he's going to leave, and he gets in the car, and he backs it up, and he sees Marcus behind him. Just decides to keep backing up, which, by the way, it looked like he really hit the guy. I mean, that was no stunt double on
No.
that thing. That was actually Marcus, man.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It was
Yeah.
like, interesting.
Charlene and Mean over there, they can't afford a stunt man. Screw that.
Yeah, just don't hit him too hard.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty gutsy of the guy.
That
Yeah,
was.
sure, back into me. Go ahead.
But thank God Marcus.
Because I'd have done it.
Thank God he took it in stride.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, just shook it off, no problem.
Just walked away.
Decked him twice. That was nice.
Reached in and did a little remodeling.
Right, so then we got the
facial
payoff for that
remodeling.
first Corvette sequence when we got to see the gentleman who's interested in buying out Owen's dealership, who offered Marcus a job. Hey, look, anytime you're ready to go, come over to work for me. And then, of course, by the end of the show, he says, that's it, I'm out of this blank hole, which is what he says.
With the Corvette involved.
With the Corvette involved. So it's kind of very synchronicitous in that sense.
Mhm.
Everything's Hakuna Matata. It's
So
circle of life.
my guess on it is he's probably not going to come back to work for Owen.
Yeah, at
Thoreau
least
Chevrolet.
well, he's been gone once. They might bring him back again.
Really?
Yeah, they I think
They
he
have
left
to
for-
keep him alive because he's a fire under Terry. I mean, he's
Exactly.
the thorn. So
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
yeah.
But that was a great way to
Yep.
it's a great way to leave a job.
Yep.
You get to beat the crap out of somebody. And
So which is what he wanted to be doing for a while.
yeah.
And then we finally, right after that, we finally get the reason why Terry's feeling the way he does. It's really it's a little bit about the age, well, probably a lot, but mostly it's about the fact that Aaron broke up with him. Finally learned why we haven't seen Aaron, why she wasn't at the birthday party. She broke up with him. We don't know why yet. Hopefully we're gonna find. Looks like we're gonna find that out because we saw that in the coming up stuff. But that's the thing that's affecting more than anything, because I think he really did feel something for her. We finally get to realize how genuine that his feelings were. He surprised himself that he feels like that, because he hasn't known her that long, and he's expecting everybody to tell him that he should just shake it off, but he can't because he actually had genuine feelings for her.
Of the three people that are our characters, I think Terry has got the best tools to work with. He used to be an actor, so
Right.
he doesn't ever really need to worry about what's real or isn't real, because as an actor you don't really care.
Yeah.
All you need to do is fake it.
Yeah.
If you can fake it, you're in.
Right. And he's faked it many times.
Yeah, and he's been doing it long enough to get very good at it. But now he's got to give that up, which means he's got to essentially go through a second puberty to try to discover what's real and what isn't, and try to organize all these feelings. So if he thought he had feelings for this girl,
Yeah.
you guess that he's probably second guessing whether those were real. And when he determined that I think they are, then she dumps him. I think he's got a lot more layers
That is
to work
so
in.
meta.
Hey, you know what? Or maybe I just had too much Diet Coke.
Yeah, I think that.
I don't know. No,
Let's
but
take a
I
vote.
think he's got a lot of stuff that he can work with.
Well,
because
he's
of all of
completely
that.
conflicted. Here he is. He's trying to be the responsible guy now. Nobody's letting him. I mean, his brother laughs him off, doesn't
Yeah.
want him to pay his, which is a different episode, doesn't think he's ever going to get paid back, all that kind of stuff. And here he finally has what he thinks is a legitimate relationship, which he's never really had, because all of them have been very temporal.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one out of the gate, when he's trying to change his life around, he gets dumped. And I'm sure he's usually the dumper.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's reeling. And on top of that, screw it, I'm 50.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's messed up. He's messed up beyond belief. And of course, the first thing he wants to do is the self-pity thing. Look, I'm sorry. You have everything to fire me, but I'll do the right thing and I'll quit. Because he's just feeling pitiful.
Yeah.
And Owen does the right thing as a friend and as a boss. He says, nope, I'm not going to accept. You dug this hole.
Well,
You fill
it
it.
wasn't completely selfless on Terry's part. He wanted out.
Yeah.
I'll just quit. I know I screwed up, and
Yeah.
that way I don't have to deal with all of
Yeah, I
this.
know. I didn't mean it was selfless. I mean
Oh.
it was self-pity is what I
So,
meant.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
Owen
self-less.
saw it
Exactly.
because he's known him for so long.
Exactly.
No, you're not getting away.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
he did it
but
for,
you did screw me. 'cause
Exactly.
I just lost my
yeah.
best
Yeah, I
salesman.
love that. Yeah, he was willing to say the whole thing, not even just, hey, no, don't worry about it. You'll be okay. He didn't do any of that
No.
consoling. He just said, okay, here it is, dude.
Yeah.
You screwed up big time, and you're going to fix it, which is what he should have done. If you want the guy to grow up, which is what he said, grow up, take responsibility, do what you're supposed to do, and shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then, of course, when it's your birthday month, well,
Yeah. Unless it's your birthday month.
yeah, then you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Let's see.
of
That
course.
means that by the time my kids are 21, it's going to be like the 13th the birthday year,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
where the celebration never stops.
It
Right
won't.
in party.
It's
Yeah.
just, right when it comes
That's it,
down,
baby.
oh, it's been a year. It's my
Well,
turn again.
So you'll let us know when your birthday. I'm sorry, I don't even know your birthday month. You'll let us know, right?
It's Kevin and I have the same birthday month.
Oh, okay. There
So
you
we,
go.
so you don't even have to worry about the day anymore.
Nah,
So,
we're gonna
it's a
fuck
month. Now, is that like, do you get a lot more gifts, or is it just?
You don't have to, but you have to get treated nicely for the entirety of the month. So if we go out,
on your criteria?
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. What happens if we? Okay. Yeah. What?
I'm not paying for dinner. It's my
It's my
birthday
bir-
month.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Alright.
My
Gotcha.
birthday month.
Okay.
Alright.
Do you expect me to pay? No.
Whoa! It's a broken code. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You can't make
Now,
me
do you
pay
get
my
to
birthday
do you get
month.
to decide where dinner is held?
You have the authority to make that. Like, we're not going to McDonald's.
Oh no, not my
It's,
birthday month.
Not
It's-
on my birthday month.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to Applebee's.
I know so many guys that would just take advantage of this.
Of course. Yeah.
This is the car you're buying me on my birthday month? No, no. I thought it was clear.
Oh, by the way,
Only one boat?
The other
Yeah.
nice line at the end. So Terry's, got the ice pack on his face, and he's leaving in just a horrible harumph. And the guy says, "Dude, you bleed a lot." Not like, hey, I
Again.
hope you feel better, but no, dude, you bleed a lot.
Yeah,
Kick
but
a
you know
guy
what?
when he's down.
And that goes back to a point, my earlier point, which is, okay, so now you're cast as this guy. Whether or not you have these Shakespearean chops or whatever, this is your guy. You better
Yeah.
commit to it. But the flip side of that is you do get the good lines
Yeah, it's great.
because they have to go to this guy because
Yeah.
that's why they're funny.
Yeah, it's great.
So
Good for them.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude, you really eat a lot.
Yeah, exactly. And so our parting scene is Joe. Well, they go back to the links, and every time we've been to the links this episode, we've always seen Joe get right to hitting the balls and practice because when I turn 50, I'm gonna join the senior tour. So we go to the links, we go right to the place where he's normally hitting the balls, but there's nobody there. We don't see him, and we find out where he is. He's in the cafe, and his golf clubs are just sitting in a chair. And what is he doing? But he's watching the game.
That he took the bet
And
on,
he took the bet on because
and it's a close one.
just when he think he's out, they pull him back in and taking the bet. So yeah, there goes his dream right up, right down hopeful alley because he's back
Well-
into the gambling.
No, but what's worse is he makes the 100.
Oh yeah, that's the worst part.
That's
yeah,
the
as
worst
if he had
part.
lost it, yeah, that would have been
had
better
he
for him.
lost it, it would have been, I can't
That's
believe
why
I did it.
gambling is gambling.
And now, on the heels of this whole mind over matter thing that he's doing,
Yeah.
he now is successful. Well, he has a success.
Yeah, now he's gonna become a bookie.
Yeah. Well, if this guy goes any further south, there's going to be an opening.
Got a commercial here.
Okay.
gotta
All
wrap it
right.
up.
All right, John.
We gotta wrap it up.
All right, Jesse. I'm getting the cue from John.
That's it, Jesse. Yeah,
Yeah,
we should go to our
com-
commercial break here. We've wrapped up that show.
Want to find out what the AfterBuzz is about?
Janice is a drama queen.
This is the divide that is going to carry the series.
Give us a call. 424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
It's television, and they want it to be as dramatic as possible.
I mean, it's Shakespearean.
You never know what goes on behind closed doors.
Find out why AfterBuzz TV is the #1 source for after-show content.
Now, in the eyes of Jimmy, Nucky is a villain.
424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
I mean, who would you guys rather hear that from? Your husband or your best friend?
The wig! The wig will come out. That wig.
When the TV show is over, get your AfterBuzz on.
Welcome back, everybody. So, all right, straight to predictions,
Well,
I
we're going
guess.
to predictions.
Oh, no.
No, let's go to our special segment, shall we?
AfterBuzz.
Well, we're kind of deciding. Okay.
Yeah. I predict we won't be clear about whether we're going to segments, special segment, or predictions.
Well, I think we just kind of wanted to really touch.
AfterBuzz TV.
I predict Jesse's bored in the booth.
The fun part is trying to figure out whether or not your generation will actually listen to this show.
That's a
as
good
in this
question.
podcast.
Well, they're
My
certainly listening to the show. The show's doing well.
watch
Listen, I really can't see how men of my age, of that certain age, can't watch this show and say, oh yeah. You know, I mean, they are nailing so many things.
That show is in good standing. Whether or not they'll listen to this show,
it
this
all
podcast,
depends
this
if they
after
have.
show.
It depends if they have a teenager.
Right.
That's the only way they're going to find it, because they're going to go, "What is this pod thing going on?" And the kid's going to go,
what's
"Oh,
this interweb?
Dad, it's right here."
Well, change the channel. I can't see.
Is that on a remote?
Do I get it on video cassette?
Because I only got one. I got to re-record on that one.
Well,
no, I think they will, and if they do find it, I think if they're into the show, I think they'll have a good time with it.
I think so. For those of you who are tech savvy and are of that certain age, and have friends that watch men of a certain age, teach your friends how to download this podcast.
There you go.
Give us a step by step. What is this interweb?
Here's a tip. If anybody at that show can access this, maybe have an episode where one of the dads needs to.
Albert teaches Joe how to download
teaches
stuff.
Somebody
That would
how
be
to
nice.
download
I like
podcasts.
That would be fun.
No.
No, but I think all AfterBuzz shows have been very successful, and it's been through word of mouth.
Word of mouth only.
And so I think
So this is one where you're pushing the ceiling on the age range.
Well, yes, I want to.
Yeah.
I think I would like to see. Obviously, where was I going with this? So if you like this podcast, if you're listening, don't be afraid to tell your friends, and again, don't be embarrassed if they don't know how to download it. Just teach them. It's easy.
You think we're embarrassed about that?
I don't know.
We got so much more stuff to be embarrassed about.
Exactly.
Seriously, I mean, we could write a list.
All right.
Especially if you have kids.
Fair enough. Well, now I think we can
no.
go to
Once you have
predictions.
kids, the list gets smaller.
Exactly.
I didn't do that. Nope, never happened. Nope. I don't know where you heard
But when you have kids, you're not worried about being embarrassed. You're more happy about
AfterBuzz TV.
making them embarrassed.
Well, if you're doing your
All
job.
right, here we go. Predictions. Thank you for moving us along, Jesse. That subliminal message.
It's a protocol, hey.
Thank you. Any predictions? Here we go.
All right, so we saw a lot of baseball and we saw some dating. That's the two notes I have. It feels like a very baseball-filled episode.
Yep. More testosterone, right? We're gonna get.
Well, it's dealing with Owen gets a team or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
well, the car dealership already has a team, and it used to be that Owen Throw, his father, who was the former Laker, was running it, in charge of it, and now he's passed on the managing reins to Owen, who also now be in charge of the softball team.
So Owen, will now have to helm that as well.
Yeah,
and
well,
of course, they'll be going up against the rival down the street.
Which is where Marcus will be now, so
Right.
that'll be so the Mr. Corvette guy, all that kind of stuff. So that we'll keep that thing going.
That
Which is
game
great.
will have a little bit more weight.
Yeah, and speaking of weight, we get we get to see Owen trying to run the
Oh
bases.
my God! Yeah, that looks like it's going to be a fun one, actually.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
And also, we kind of teased it, but Ray Romano actually he lives nearby where we do this podcast, and he's close friends with a few of our guys, and so and obviously he's a huge supporter of Men of a Certain Age. He loves it. He turned down a lot of other TV shows to specifically do this one, and so we feel like we can get him in.
We hope so, yeah, and with good reason. This show is really close to his heart. He does a great job at it, and you can see every bit of it. It's got passion behind it, and caring. And
when you saw him, and everyone loves Raymond, again, out of his comedy routine, slice of life, and everything. And I really think this was such a next logical step of just, it's where I'm at, and this is who I am, and that's why
wonderfully
it works.
layered. I mean, it's still got all the comedy and all that other stuff, but wonderfully layered, very true to life, and so, in a strange way, so is everybody.
But it's also really nice to see him just be part of the show and not have to carry the whole thing and let the people around him shine.
By the way,
and
I
they
was
do
gonna say-
shine. Owen's wife
Yeah,
she's really
terrific.
good.
She's terrific.
She's
Yeah, go
really
ahead.
good.
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna say. I mean, in many ways, you would expect like, okay, he would have, in whatever it amounts to be, 42-minute episode with commercials, you know, that he would dominate at least like 30 minutes of it, but he doesn't.
No,
which is cool.
He's very
cool.
Very well. I mean, great ensemble cast. And I'm sure that's why he got those. I mean, Andre Braugher, Scott Bakula, those are good people to get. I mean, these guys are pros. I'm telling you. And of course, everybody else in it. I won't go listing all the names and everything like that, but they're terrific. Everybody's in it. Everybody's good. Okay.
Well,
there we go. That is Men of a Certain Age.
Yes.
Thank you very much for listening. We wrapped it all up there. I don't know if anything you want to add before we move on?
What's next?
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janity, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.